Guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel The Growing Developer, and here I am with yet another exciting episode, and this time we'll be learning Cloud Firestore. A big hype in Flutter community. Everyone is going on Firebase. Why to choose Firebase over others? And well, Firebase provides us with two databases. One is Realtime Database and other is Cloud Firestore. Cloud Firestore by some means is a flagship database offered by Firebase. So we'll look into the Firestore, how we can implement or integrate Firestore in our Flutter application, and why is it called real time. And we'll discuss everything in this video. Watch the video till end, don't skip anything because each and every second counts, and I try my best to make it count for you, right? Every minute is a new learning for you. So without wasting any time, let's begin this tutorial.
The growing developer.
Okay, first of all, there are some prerequisites that you need to do. So we'll open our console. As you can see, go to your Firebase console, choose your project. This was the project that we made. If you don't know, you can follow our previous videos. There we have discussed all about authentication and how to add Firebase to your Flutter application the correct way. Yes, the procedure to add Firebase to your application is different for Android and iOS, so do follow that video if you are just starting with Firebase. And what you need to do is go to database, and you can see that it will take some time and load. So we have two options. First one is the Cloud Firestore. It says real-time updates, powerful queries, and automatic scaling. So to know about all these, like what are real-time updates, powerful queries, and automatic scaling, you can go to our website. So our website is thegrowingdeveloper.org, and you can see that I've written a blog just for this, which database to use. As you can see here that we have a real-time option and the Cloud Firestore. So open up this and you can decide which database to choose for a Flutter application. Both work in a kind of similar way. Both are NoSQL database, but the key point and key aspects will be discussed in this blog, so go ahead and check it. And yes, we have other blogs as well. So we are now concerned about the Cloud Firestore. So let's click on create database, and it is saying where to start in production mode or start in test mode. So what we'll do, I guess I'll start in production mode right now. Click on next, and it is asking for Cloud Store location. So for India, I can I guess it is Asia South, right? So done. You can choose the location based on your continent, and the location, like for India, is on the southern part of the Asia. So it will take some seconds, and yes, your Cloud Firestore will be up in no time. And yeah, for Firebase, all the implementation is pretty easy, but the prerequisite configuration for that is very important, and that's why I always show the configuration part. Most of the videos, just skip the configuration part. So here I am, nothing being skipped. You can see all the configuration done right in front of you. So you can see that this is the panel that we will have, and this is the rules. So the rule says that allow read and write, like, so it is like anyone can read or write to a database, so you can always monitor those rules. So the database structure is like we have some collections, and let's just give it the data collection name as data. Next, then you can always have some document. I'll check it to document ID, and let's just save this, right? So after some time, you can see that we have some collection, and inside the collection I have some document. So it is like a table, and inside the table you have different rows, right? Similarly, I can add any other document, and then the document itself can have multiple collections as well. So it's totally your choice how you want it. So right now I'll just delete this. So delete document, Okay, so you can see that we don't have any of the documents right now. Okay, I don't want to read the collection right now. So okay, so there you go. So we only have a data, a collection with name as data and nothing else, right? Now let's move on to our application part. So what I have done till now is, if you go to my pubspec.yaml file, you can see that I have added Cloud Firestore plugin. Now this plugin enables you, or contains all the required SDKs. Now let's move on to our files, what I have created. If you can see that this is our main.dart file. Watch the previous video for this UI, because I've discussed all about the UI there. Get started, and then we have this UI. This is the login screen, and inside this login screen you can see that when we click on login, we directly add the email and the password to it, and then we'll move on to a new screen. Now, this is new to this video. I've created a new CRUD screen. Let me just show you. If you click on login, so this is our CRUD operations. Now in this screen, if I open this, now this is a very basic UI. I've done nothing, just added a text CRUD operation on Cloud Firestore, and then I have added some material buttons. These are 4 material buttons that do nothing right now, right? They are not doing anything. And what is this null? You can see that I have created a map data, right? And right now I'm just displaying it by converting it to string. So this is a text which is displaying this data. I have not done anything with this data, that's why it is displaying null. So whatever I'll be doing with the Firestore thing, it will be shown here, and I'll also tell you how to make it real time, what else we need, right? Okay, so let's first do how to add data. We should have some data, and then only we can move on to fetch data, update data, or delete data. Whatever data I'll add here will be displayed here. Fine, done. Okay, so let's start with adding the data. So for adding the data, you have to add the data in the form of map. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, in this add data button, you can see that this is on pressed. I'll just remove this and write add data, right? This is a method that we still need to make, so I'll make the method here. Next thing, in this add data body, what we write is collection reference. I'm directly moving on to collection reference. What does this collection reference means? This is a reference that I'll use for this collection. I have this collection which is name of data. So anywhere, wherever I'll use this collection reference, it will refer to this data. Okay, so I'll name it as collection reference equals to firestore dot instance. Dot instance will make an object, and dot collection, this is the path, that is the name of collection for you. So this would be data. Okay, so now understand what this line does. This collection reference is a reference variable which will refer to this collection data inside our Firestore, right? Done. Now next thing that we would do is we'll write collection reference dot add, right? We'll add some data. Now this is asking for some map string dynamic, that is, it is asking if the data in the form of JSON. So what we'll do, we'll write map demo data equals to, like this, right? Now this type should be string and then a dynamic type, right? Inside this I'll write name. Name value would be the growing developer, right? Next thing would be the motor. It is let's learn and grow together. Yep, yeah, learn, you have seen this many times in my introduction as well. So that's all. So this is the data that we'll add into our collection. So instead of this data, I'll write demo data, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'll be adding this collection reference dot add demo data. Now this data will be added to our Firebase. Okay, let's see if this works or not. So I'll just reload this application once, and let's see if we have any exceptions or not. Okay, so cool, we got some exceptions. Missing or insufficient permissions, that is, we don't have any permission to write into the database, right? So what we'll do is, right, we will just change it to allow read and write and just publish it. Your security rules are defined as public, so anyone can steal, modify, or delete data in your database. Don't worry, this is just a demo database, so nothing is gonna like affect you. So this is like allow read and write. Anyone can read or write in a database. Done. You can always play with these rules. In some coming videos, I'll tell you how to write rules for a database to make it more secure. But right now, for demonstration purposes, I'm keeping it like this. Okay, now let's try this again. Data and no errors. Let's check out our data. So inside our data, I have a field, and it says name as the growing developer and motto as the let's learn and grow together. Okay, you don't see this, right? So okay, let's do one thing. I'll put this emulator here, right? And then let's see. We will see adding data in real time. If we click on add data, and you can see that this new data is now generated here. Once again, third data. So that's how we are creating the data, and it is being added in our Firebase in our Firestore. Let me just remove the extra fields here. Delete document here as well, delete document, and we only have one data. Now let's try to fetch this data to our application, how to write the fetch operation. Okay, so what we'll do is come on simulator. Yes. Okay, so how to fetch this data? So what we'll do, let's create another method, name it as fetch data. Right, now this is where we will write, we will change the map data. So this remains the same. Okay, so here is a cool thing. In fetch data, we'll be adding some listeners to our application. Don't worry, don't be afraid of the terms that I'm using. I'll directly write collection reference dot snapshots. What does the snapshot means? Snapshot is whatever data, whatever packets of data I'm accessing from the Cloud Firestore. So how to declare a listener for it? I'll write listen. Now what does this mean? Put a semicolon here. That means from the snapshots that I'm getting from the collection reference, this snapshots is a stream, and we have a listener. Okay, so we have introduced two terms here. One is stream and one is listener. Don't worry, this channel is all about learning and growing. So now we have started with streams and listeners. So very soon I'll be uploading a video on streams and listeners that will be specially for them, and you can understand how you can manage state using streams and listeners. Right now you can understand, like, we have a stream and we are listening to whatever data we are getting. That's why it is real-time data. So instead of this event, I'll write data. Okay, or rather I'll just name it as snapshot. So whenever there is a change in the database, that is whenever any value is added in the database, any value is deleted in the database, it listens to it. Okay, that's cool. So we'll set state data as snapshot dot documents. Now this document is a list. As I told you, in our collection we can have multiple documents, like you can see like this and like this. We have 3 documents here. So this will return dot documents snapshot dot documents will return a list of documents. Right now we only have one document. Let me just remove this again, remove this and remove this as well. So right now I only have one document, right? So this is pretty straightforward. Now if you want to get all the documents in the collection, you will write like list of documents, and you can write it like this: documents equals to snapshot dot documents. Right now this will give you the list of documents. This can be stored in a list, and then from the list you can access everything. Now if you don't know how to parse the JSON from a list, go ahead and check out the video in the info section as well as in the description, where I've told you how to parse the data, right? So right now we don't have anything like documents, so it will be document data equals to snapshot dot documents, and I can put 0 here, dot data. Make sense? Understand this once again. What is this data? This data is something that I'm gonna print here. Right now the value is null. So when we will call this fetch data, it will fetch the data from the collection reference, that is anything that we have in this collection data. Now inside this data I have a document, so I'm using documents of 0. That means only the first element in a list. Now first element dot data, whatever data I have in this, so it will return a map. This will be returned inside a map the same way we added this, right? So yep, let's save this and see if it works or not. Okay, so I'll click on fetch data. Once I click on this, nothing happens. Why is this not happening? Because we have not yet called the fetch data method. Okay, so here it is, the empty function. I'll write fetch data, right? Yeah, everyone makes some mistakes, right? So yep, fetch data, and that's it. Just look at the speed of Firestore with Flutter, right? We have the data as a what do you say, like JSON format as a map. So what I'm going to do is here with this data to string, I can write data, then we have name. Let's see if it works. So you can see that the growing developer is being displayed, and I can write motto, and let's learn and grow together, right? Okay, so now why is this real time? Because once you start fetching data, once you add some listeners, so whenever there is some change in this snapshot, whenever, that's the main use of listeners, whenever there is some change in snapshot, it will set state each time there is change. You don't agree with me? Okay, let me just show you. So once again we will just come here, simulator. Okay, so we have the simulator here, we have this here. Let me just minimize this like this. Okay, it reloaded, no worries. So you can see that this motto is being displayed here. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just write let's learn and grow together fast or in real time, right? So as soon as they update in this, you can see that the update being displayed here. So click on update, and there you go. Hey, I eventually I start playing with it. Like, it's so cool that everything is in real time. If I change it back to together, nothing editing going on, I update it here and you see the change here. That's why it is real time. Now in normal circumstances where you call the HTTP protocols, HTTP GET commands, you need to call the command again and again, but this listener is doing the work here, right? So yeah, simulator. Okay, so we will just bring it here. Let's move on to delete data command, how we can delete the data from the database. So you can see that we have only one data here, so let's delete this as well. So we will write a delete data command or method. How to do delete data? Now there is something that you need to concentrate as well, right? This will be an asynchronous command because we don't want to declare any streams for deleting. Why? Because for streams, if stream listen to any event, we want to fetch the data, that is we want to change the data on any event. We don't want to change, or we can say that we don't want anything to happen when we are deleting. Okay. We can't use snapshots.listen on the delete data method. Why? Because I don't want to delete the data on each event, right? Listeners occurs on each event. So what we'll do, we'll just copy this once again, and we will write query snapshot. Query snapshot, that is we are running some query on the database to get the document. So I'll write collection reference dot get document. This is a query that we are running, and of course this will be await that it will require some time, right? Now next thing is, after that we will write query snapshot dot documents. Now this will again have the list of documents. We are only concerned with the first document here, so we'll write 0 dot reference dot delete. We'll take the reference, and from that reference we'll delete the document, right? Now before deleting, I would like to add the data, so that we have two data and we can delete only one of them. So next thing is to call this data. We will move on to this delete data method. Here this is empty method, and instead of this I'll write delete data the comma, save this, and you have two documents here, and let's see, if I delete data, this got deleted and we have only one document, right? So let's add the data. Again we have one data. If I press on delete data, you can see in real time the data is getting deleted. Okay, so we are able to delete the data, we are able to fetch the data, and this remains intact based on the document that we have, right? Okay, so next thing is to update the data. How to update the data? So let's write the update data command. Update data. Now this will be same as delete data because I don't want to update the data after each event. So I'll just copy this, paste it here, and instead, okay, we have to declare it asynchronous one, and instead of this delete, I'll write update data, and the updated data should be here. So as an updated data, I'll write name as Sahib Singh, right? And then again, see, Sahib Singh is also having the same motto as the growing developer, that is, let's learn and do together, right? Now you will be thinking that why are you changing it? We can't see any change, so let's change it to the name, right? So here I'll write name, so that this time on update data I'm updating the name, right? So you see here we have the growing developer. Let's move to this here, remove this on press, and I'll write update data here. We are calling the update data method here. Save this, and let's see, update data, and the updated data is now Sahib Singh, and here also you can see that the data is getting updated. So that's all for my side. You have seen how we can add data, fetch data, all the CRUD operations have been done. Go ahead and play with the data how you want it. Once we move on to some real life real world applications, we will see more complex queries on it. In coming videos I'll also tell you how we can filter the results from the collection as well as the documents. So that's all for this video. Hope you like this video. Don't forget to go to our website and check out all the latest videos and the blogs that I write. Show some support and go and follow me on other social platforms as well. And that's all. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you're having a nice day. Goodbye. Stay safe.